you know.
So there's this weird side of game journalism that I'm looking at right now that I've past few years when I found Destructoid and all you guys, I also found the YouTube gaming community, and they're the weirdest people on the planet because there's people who are supported by the fans and all that who just do gaming news and they talk and introspect about game design and do all the stuff that you enjoy. But then people who make videos about games who are just, hey, I'm playing Amnesia, look at me scared, I'm getting 2 million views here. There's that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that has its own place in games media or should it be just differentiated. I can't pronounce that word ever. Um,
Differentiated.
yeah, there you go. He
Well, I
did
think
it.
I think it is already, right? I mean, like, I don't see much. One of the interesting things about doing the stream, the Hash stream,
Yeah.
has been exposure to that community and that culture, which I never got.
Hmm.
I was never exposed to that culture up until about a year ago when I started watching. There's a guy that does Let's Plays called Northern Lion. Have you ever heard of him?
No, but I will look.
He's
Northern Line.
really Northern Lion. He does a lot of that when I stumbled upon his stuff, he was doing a Dark Souls Let's Play. Big surprise there. And he also did a series of Binding of Isaac Let's Plays. He's really well spoken. He's got a really good radio kind of voice, you know.
Oh yeah.
He's
An Aaron Lindy kind of voice.
oh God, don't even say that. I sound every time I hear myself like if I listen to this, I'm just gonna start cutting. I hate the
Joined the
sound.
same. I'm in that club too. I sound like a 10-year-old girl to most people.
Um, but so he's really good at what he does, and he also spends a great deal of time highlighting indie games and highlighting independently distributed games, and uh, he's probably boosted the sales of a lot of games that really needed it and a lot of games that really deserved it.
Well,
Um,
that
I
happened
and
with
I
Minecraft too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if there are, and those guys, I'm in full support of that. I'm in full support of people that enjoy games and people who enjoy games enough to really care about how they're made and really care about how they work.
Yeah.
Who will look at a game and not just say like, I think that I if I had to draw a distinction between people that we'll just say like people who do let's on YouTube. If I had to draw a distinction between the guys that I think that are doing the right thing and they're doing the wrong thing, I think the difference is the guys who, the folks, guys and gals, the folks who, they make a video and basically what they're doing is, reviewing a game with like a Game Pro style, graphics, sound, fun factor, the five point
Oh,
bullshit
fun
little
factor.
fucking icons. There are the people that do
Four
that.
out of
That
five
that
stars.
yeah, the people that uh, the people that play a game and wait for it to do something to them, and then there are the people that play games and deconstruct them and think about them and
Hmm.
think about why they're successful and can quantify why they're successful and think about why they fail and quantify why they fail and go beyond just saying I fucking hate this or I fucking love this game and oh my god that was so cool. I I think that the people that go and above and beyond the Call of Duty when it comes to what people generally expect from games media are the people that are doing uh, more for the community than I think the community realizes. I think that there is a development there's an ongoing development of literacy when it comes to video games. When that's what the role of um, uh, theater criticism, like theater critics and such, historically it was basically giving people the information and the tools they need to be able to appreciate theater in a way that was consummate with the history of that medium.
Yeah.
Helping them understand what they were watching and appreciate it more and get more out of it. That was the role of theater criticism. And now criticism in a capitalistic sense has just become, well, do you buy it or do you not? Do you buy a movie ticket or don't you? Do you buy
Yeah.
this book or not? Is it good or is it bad? Um, I, what I love about guys like Northern Lion and what I love about watching Anthony play a game on the stream is that I can it helps me get a perspective on something that I wouldn't otherwise have had. It helps me to think about things from different angles. Um, I think it's really useful. I think more people should be paying attention to that. I think more people should be paying attention to the guys that do it that way. I certainly hope that, I don't know, it's probably all going to get drowned out by League of Legends World Championship Finals, but
Yeah, unfortunately, like one of the reasons why I've been talking to my family about this. I'm like, I want to do games journalism. They're like, no, school. I'm like, later. But
no. You're in school, right?
no, I can't afford it right now,
Oh, okay,
unfortunately.
that's a fine reason to not be in school. But
Yeah,
if you once you wait a minute, you're Canadian.
that's me.
Yeah, but like no, there.
What do you mean no?
I mean, like, I know it's still not exactly, just something that you can open up your wallet and do. But I mean, like, at the very least, a Canadian university is much, much, much more affordable than American. I'm just saying, just
Yeah,
go after that shit, tackle it to the ground, beat the death out of it. Just do it.
yeah,
It's a good thing. Do it.
yeah, yeah.
Sell one of your testicles. You can do this.
I have no testicles. Um, as I was saying, one of the reasons why I hopped on the YouTube bandwagon instead of going into traditional website stuff. Not only because it's hard to get like someone to notice you on a website because there's so many, but also there seems to be this general um, society look at YouTube as it's something accessible. No, it's a lot harder for people to be like, okay, I'm going to Google Resident Evil 6 review. If they see a YouTube video, they're like, okay, I'm going to click on that and then I'm going to see it and then maybe that will change their mind compared to what's IGN and how do I read this? Like what's going on here? So uh, for me, like game journalism on the YouTube scale compared to a website is it's much more accessible, I guess. Like the
Mhm.
barrier to entry isn't as big.
Sure.
So I guess I feel like for myself, as someone who wants to be able to change people's mind, I feel like I can reach people more easily, as opposed to being like, okay, here's my WordPress blog. You kind of have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
look for it, as opposed to just Googling. They kind of so I don't know if that makes kind of sense.
No. That makes perfect sense. The one recommendation I would make to you and to anybody looking into doing that is that I think that I think that you'll have more success if you think about it less like changing people's minds and more about engaging people in discussion.
Hmm.
That the more reflexive and responsive you are um, to what other people have to say, even if they even if the person that is engaging you presently, like the person that from your audience that you're having a discussion with, is telling you that everything that isn't Halo is gay and dumb. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the more you can engage them in discourse and find that common ground and figure out what is it about,
Why is it gay and dumb?
no, well, yeah, but or well, something even more constructive than that is
Yeah.
what is it about Halo that what is it about Halo that resonates with you, and why is it that you're not finding that anywhere else? What is it about that kind of gameplay that isn't available to you in other games that maybe do things a little bit differently, that maybe could broaden your horizons as a consumer of that media.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best things about genuine communities of gamers that want to, and I say a genuine community isn't the word. All communities are genuine, but what I mean is like communities that aren't about pissing wars and about oh, you like this game, you're dumb. This game is better. Here's why. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that 8.5 for this game means that this 7 for this other game
Uh,
clearly means that game is better than this other. That bullshit.
Worst.
Yeah, and for that reason, like that's why most communities are fucking toxic, because that's what most of it devolves into, because
Yeah,
people
exactly.
associate so strongly. They hinge their their own perceived value of self worth so strongly on the ways in which the things they like are perceived by people around them. I don't fucking get it. It's the same deal as like I the way that I can get to know people better is by putting my favorite bands in my Facebook profile, and then that's how I'll define myself, and that'll make it easier for people to understand me. And
Yeah.
I think people need to spend more time talking and less time speaking with one another, and less time talking at one another. And I think that goes double for game communities.
Yeah, so and that's probably why live streaming has become such a huge thing now, is because you can engage people. Like when I hop into the Hey Ash live stream, I feel like there's a chance that you guys are going to respond back to me and then to be able to have
No,
some sort.
there's no fucking chance of that. Nobody wants to talk to you, man.
That's untrue. I have talked to one person and that was
Oh,
good. And that was a good.
I'm sorry if have you ever like I'm just kidding, man. Have you ever like jumped into the stream and like said stuff, and did I like completely ignore you? Because I can only look at the stream like half the not
The
even half the time, like a 10% of the time. And
only time I've ever talked during the stream was I think Tamara was on, and we talked about how she made sandwiches for a living. And that was
Oh,
probably
okay.
the only time I've ever actually talked. All the other times, it's like in another window while I'm playing games or eating
Mhm.
food or
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it is cool. There is a back and forth there. It's also the other side of that is that it's really stressful to oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I just now looked at that link that you sent me. The
the daddy picture.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The funny thing was that I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't know about that. I didn't see it.
the daddy picture or the live stream.
I didn't see the daddy picture.
Oh yeah, no,
For people listening, so you should put this in the notes
I'll
for this
put it
thing.
on
But
the I'll
but
put it
for
on the
people
screen.
listening who have no idea what the fuck we're talking about,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. You're recording video of this, aren't you?
Well, no, I can make videos. I
You
have
can
that
make video of this. Yeah,
capability.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Shut up. Stop making me look dumb. Stop it.
it's okay. You can
I'm
make me
doing
look
enough of
dumb.
that. I'm doing enough of that on my own. So somebody had brought this up to me the other day, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh, that's right. She was drawing." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even see." I felt like the worst. Like just now, I felt like the worst person on the planet because I didn't see that. Like I felt like a really bad surrogate parent just now. Like
She draws a
um,
lot of fucked up shit though.
does she?
She draws like pictures of masked figures with bloody knives near her.
How did I miss all of this? All of it.
There's
I'm the worst. I
she
need to re
draws the dishonored or the assassin's mask with like different pages everywhere. And I missed it too. A lot of it's like you have to just walk up at the right time in the right place kind of thing.
shit. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm the most unobservant son of a bitch ever. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm doing a second playthrough of Dishonored, so I'll have to go check that out. But one of the cool things is that at least that kind of confirmed that confirms for me part of that relationship that I had only picked up through other means in the game, like the way some of the dialogue and
Okay.
not just from Emily to Corvo, but
Yeah.
from like, the Empress and from the other characters to Corvo. Samuel, a lot of the stuff that Samuel says to you. Um,
I'm Shamyar.
yeah, yeah. That. Oh, and what was her name? Callista. Callista. A
Yeah,
lot of the stuff
the
that she
maid.
says. Yeah, yeah. Pretty much confirms that as well. So that's good. At least I wasn't completely off base with what the perceived relationship between those characters was supposed to be. Um, uh, so that's a plus. I still feel like a douche for missing that though.
Well,
Thanks
how
for
much of that
bumping
game
me
did you
out,
play?
asshole.
You're welcome. How much of that did you play in the live stream? I'm just
Um,
curious.
a lot of it, and that's probably why that's I was going to bring this up earlier, but that's actually the flip side of streaming something live is that I have yet to reconcile in my head the needs of the people watching the stream with my needs as a gamer. Like what like the stuff that I like to do in a game I don't think is terribly entertaining. I mean, and it might be. I've had people on the stream tell me like, no, don't worry about it, just do what you're gonna do and whatever. But then you play a game like FTL and you have everybody screaming at you that you're not doing this or you're not doing that or you need to do this or make
Not
this
flying the
choice.
spaceship.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking just stop, just stop.
Yeah.
Like I played Prison Architect on the stream once, and I haven't done it since because it stressed me the fuck out.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I hadn't learned how to play the game yet. It was the first time that the second time that I had played it, but I had only had like 45 minutes of the game, and I did all that in the tutorial. Which right now the tutorial in Prison Architect, which is an alpha, so I mean they have an excuse, is not great. So, um, uh, I I love playing games on the stream. I don't think I should play games that I'm not familiar with or that I'm experiencing for the first time because like I skipped there was one night where I skipped a lot of the books and lore and such that were scattered around the world, and then later just reloaded an old save and played through it and actually read it. And I wish I didn't
Yeah.
have to do that, but I didn't want to bore people who were watching the stream while I was reading shit. And that's one of the drawbacks of streaming is that it it does have an impact on how you play. It has an impact on where your focus is, and when I'm playing a game by myself, I'm doing all the things that I want to do. I'm exploring what I want to explore. I am looking at everything. I'm absorbing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
Looking at the
all
whales
that.
in the distance.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm playing on the stream, my priority is continuing to play the game and to be at least marginally entertaining. And that is a habit I have to break.
Well,
I don't think that my involvement on the stream will be valuable if I'm not playing the game as I would when I wasn't streaming it.
there's an easy fix to that, by the way, for especially for co-op games. You just have to get Smith Sakar to play. There you go. Because then all the hate will be drawn off of you, and they'll be like, "What are you
I
doing?"
it's not hate. It's not like it's not like people are giving me a hard time or anything. It's just that I can't. What I need to do is just not have any visibility into the chat, while I'm playing. I think if I can just
Mhm.
shut it off completely, that would be fine. But I also, I need to look at it on occasion because I need to make sure the stream is actually working, and I need to, but yeah, it's just it's not. No one was, yelling at me or anything. No one was being shitty. Really, I mean,
And
like
they
I didn't.
never are, which is
Other
very
well,
nice.
yeah, well, we occasionally get a couple of douchebags in there, but usually they're not the kind of guys that stick around anyway. But like,
Yeah.
we don't we don't get people screaming at us or saying shitty things. Everyone in that community is awesome, and I enjoy the shit out of all of them.
Yeah.
It's just that you know they're trying to be helpful, and in so doing, they're making me extraordinarily self conscious about making stupid decisions. I mean, like that's what playing games is. It's making decisions. It's making choices within a system. It's
Mhm.
systems interacting and reaping the rewards or suffering the consequences of your decisions within those systems. And when I do something dumb in a game, I'm suddenly very aware of the fact that I have 200 people watching me make that mistake, and
Yeah.
that's a different feeling. I've made some really boneheaded decisions in games before, but I've never had an audience like that watch me do it in real time, and that's different. you know.
Well, shit. Now I'm not doing it. I'm the worst gamer. I'm the worst at everything I play. It's horrifying. Um, yeah, but like I like watching live streams because I feel like you go in and everyone's hanging out. It's like sitting in a room with friends that you just met on the street, and then you all came into one house and played Super Smash Bros. Or watched one of your friends play, and then you start to get to know people who have this common interest. For some reason, it's this weird social thing for me where I don't have to go outside at all and meet people. So
That's not what we're trying to encourage, but yes, I understand your sentiment there.
yeah, you don't have to
We were
encourage anything. It's going to happen regardless.
we were actually talking about this on the Electric Hydra yesterday, where uh, we we all kind of agree that it's we all really like doing it, but we're still figuring out why. We're not really
Yeah.
sure. I know that one of the reasons that I like it is because it's sort of and I think Brad echoed the sentiment as well, is that it kind of it it sort of emulates the experience that you're talking about, which is like that couch multiplayer dynamic where
Yeah.
you're sharing that experience with other people. It's I still don't know why I like watching somebody else play a game, um, because you'd think that somebody watching somebody else play a game, their first response to that would be,
Why can't I just do that?
why can't I play it? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would and before I started watching Let's Plays, I remember thinking, like, why would anybody watch a Let's Play? Why wouldn't you just
Yeah.
play the game
Same.
yourself? And it's because playing games is stressful and sometimes it's hard. And like I watched so I've beaten Silent Hill 2 only once, and but since then I stop every time at the first apartment building that you go to. Because those hallways are really, 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 really narrow, and they scare the shit out of me. And I have, since the first time I played that game, I've developed crippling, like crippling phobias of not necessarily monsters in the dark or anything, but just but just being in places like that in the dark. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, sir, and so I can't do it anymore, and I just don't want to. I love that game, but I don't want to play through that part of it anymore.
Yeah.
So I can just watch a let's play and watch somebody. So I mean, there are definite benefits to it. There's a lot of cool stuff about it, not just from an experiential standpoint, not just from the way that we think about the media that we consume, and a different way of experiencing that media, which is usually one in which you're always in the driver's seat. Um, and it sort of changes the way I think about community surrounding gaming as well. Not just community of gamers who play together, but community of gamers who watch each other play. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. Like, well, so you guys talk about you're talking about your live stream. I'm acting like there's a second person there for some reason. Um, but I actually feel like you guys have this really interesting middle point. Like you guys, for some reason, in my head have hit it on the head right where the streaming I want it to be. Because usually when I watch a live stream, it's like everyone's there to yell at this one guy. They want them to be known. It's like the person that's live streaming, they want the audience needs to know that person is looking at them. Like it's kind of this weird attention grabbing thing for some
Yeah.
reason.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I go into your guys' live stream, it's all about you guys are hanging out, playing games together, whether it be Borderlands 2 or Left 4 Dead, and then everybody in the chat's like making jokes at your guys' expense or each other's expense or just talking. And I don't know if that's your community, which is possible, or
I've noticed that too. Like I've noticed that the stream has become almost something, almost an animal independent or the chat rather has become almost independent of the stream itself. Like that oftentimes I'll look at the stream and like Davis will be, talking to people about drawing comics, or, people will be talking about what they're getting for dinner or something. And
yeah.
another thing that's really interesting is that people will, there's a group of about 20 of the Hey Ash stream community that will just hang out in the channel even when we're not broadcasting, and they'll just chat. I mean, which is really cool. Like, I mean, we've got people developing genuine friendships, but as a result of just this thing that we do, because we play lots of games and we like doing it, with each other. I mean, that's actually one of the reasons we started doing it was because, one, it was easy, and two, we played games together all the time. So it made sense that, rather than podcasting, where there's this really intense and very specific kind of idea as to what, we're in this mode where we have to be we have to be entertaining or interesting, or we have to, it's like we're providing some kind of service. Whereas with the stream, it's just sort of like, we're going to play some games. Do y'all want to come with us? Like that's the mentality that we're in.
Yeah.
Most of the time, again, as I mentioned earlier, I still kind of have this. I have a certain degree of performance anxiety associated with streaming, but generally my response to it is one of, I just like playing games with my friends, and if people want to watch us play games, I'm sure, why not?
Yeah. Well, like you guys, you had the Hash crew, as you've been deemed now. Before it was just Anthony and the girl with the face. I forgot her name for a second, which is really weird considering it's Hey Ash.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, dude, you said her name like literally half a second ago.
And I just finished watching Must Come Down too, so you think I would remember all that? Anyways, but before, now you're a whole crew and you do the podcast, but now the live stream turns into the podcast. So it's like this weird this weird thing where it's like, okay, so come to the podcast, you can be part of the conversation, but then if you missed it, you can still be there for it. You just have to click on one little tab, and it's still there, like it's being happening live. Which I watch your guys' old Twitch streams, even when you're not streaming, just to watch them like they were a podcast, even if there's like bouts where you're just sitting there not talking. And it's still media to consume. So live streaming has now hit this midline where it's live, but it's also a podcast maybe sometimes, or it's also just hanging out and watching somebody else play, or you're talking to new people. And it's like all gaming community stuff, just mash that into one thing. And I really like it. I think it's one of the coolest things that's happened in the last 5 years. And I want to do it so bad.
Agreed.
Good. I'm glad.
Well, listen, we've been at this for about an hour and a half. I think I gotta go get like food.
Yep.
Eat and shit. But it's been a pleasure.
We can leave it on an awkward note. Yeah, do that one.
That was awkward. I think it wasn't awkward until you said it was. So way to go. See, yeah.
Yeah, this explains a lot of my relationships with the people around me. As I point out how awkward.
It's fine. You're fine. Shut up.
Woo. Raise the roof. Yeah. Okay. Well, that is good. We will end on that note.